Hey guys, how are you all doing? It's Elizabeth from Earth Strong Accessories, and today I wanted to talk about ethical crystals. You might have heard of ethical crystals before, maybe you haven't, but today I just want to give you like a little lowdown on what I know about ethical crystals. Obviously, there's always going to be more to learn. So far, this is what I know. The reason I'm considering this is because like 2 years ago, I saw an article and it was saying about how ethical crystals were like the new blood diamonds, and I was thinking, huh, what are you talking about? So I read the article, and apparently, miners are often not paid fairly and bad working conditions. So I had just started what I was doing here at Earthstrong. Actually, I started in 2016. And fun fact, the product that I was working on at the beginning of my starting this whole thing, I'm still working on. Like, I'm still working on that product. It wasn't even the necklaces. I'm still working on the product. Can you believe that? Anyway, that's just a side note. So then I started trying to look for ethical crystals to source and find out about the industry. It is really obscure. Mining operations are usually done by huge big corporations. It's hard to kind of find anyone to own to hold accountable for any malpractice that might go on in the industry whilst little humans are trying to extract these wonderful stones from the earth. So anyway, during that journey, I was able to find Julie at Moonrise Crystal. Her whole company is based on ethical crystals, and she makes sure that she can track every stone from the mine to literally holding it in her hand and then to you. I really love Julie. Everything that I've learned about what makes a stone ethical has been from Julie. I'm lucky enough to be working with her. I have a few stones on my website that I've been able to source with her help, and so you should have a look at that, but I'll talk about that later. First, I just want to kind of let you know what criteria Julie has come up with when she picks the businesses that she works with in order to source ethical crystals. So I just want to do a quick disclaimer as well. I'm literally not knocking the regular stones that we all have and use every day and stuff. I've been using crystals now for over a decade. I have crystals that I use every day that I wouldn't be able to say this is where it came from. I'm not going to stop using them. I've benefited from them directly. But obviously with more knowledge, it's good to kind of support the ethical crystal industry, and perhaps shedding more light and having more backing will encourage better practices. And like with fair trade, how things like that, how we can have kind of certified human friendly, earth friendly practices within the mining industry. Okay, so I will now run through the criteria that Julie's come up with, which I think is really good. And yeah, the two main things that Julie does is she makes sure that the mine is ethical, which is the place where the rocks are taken from the earth, and also the lapidary is ethical as well, which is where the stones are polished, that the conditions in those places are conducive for the human who is going in there to get all the stuff. I was saying, sorry, I had a quick break just now. So like I was saying, ethical mine and ethical lapidary. Mine is where the stones are extracted. Lapidary is where the stones are polished. Remember last time I spoke about tumbling stones. So what makes an ethical mine? An ethical mine is one where the people that are going to extract the stones from the earth are sufficiently protected, sufficient safety gear and workwear to protect their faces, eyes, breathing, feet, whatever they need, body, whatever they need, so that they are protected, so that they have sufficient protection from sometimes dangerous mining conditions, right? So what else? Fair wages. This is important because everybody likes a fair wage, obviously. No, it's unfair if the people who are actually extracting the stones from the earth are getting paid a pittance and have literally no clue about the value of the stones that they're getting from the earth for us all to use. It's important that they getting paid fairly. I think this is just a basic human right. And the third thing is low environmental impact. It can be quite tough on the environment, extracting stones. So we want to make sure that the mines have good practices in order to cause as little damage to the environment as possible with the process that they're extracting these stones from our beautiful earth. Hi, it's the day after. I'm in my natural form. Please don't mind me. I'm editing the video and I've just noticed that when I was saying the bit about ethical mining, I didn't actually mention specifically artisanal mines and artisanal miners. I mean, it's like supporting small business. So like, you know, when you prefer to go to a small coffee shop rather than one of the huge big chains, and you prefer to put your money in that person's pocket rather than the already fat bursting at the seams pocket of the huge corpse. That's what, you know, supporting an artisanal miner is. So what is an artisanal miner? An artisanal miner is a small scale miner who doesn't work for a large company, who works for themselves and goes in with hand tools to extract the rough by themselves. They usually have a lower environmental impact and lower safety risks as well. Important to support artisanal miners because, like the example that I used about going to a small coffee shop rather than your larger coffee chain, it's kind of the same thing. And it's really important that artisanal miners are paid fairly. Okay, so back to me with my face on. Polishing factory. What makes a polishing factory ethical? The same kind of things. Fair wages for the people who are working in the polishing factories. Sufficient protective gear for their breathing, for their eyes, whilst they're polishing and working on the stones, and a short supply chain. It's good if the mine and the polishing factories are in the same country. That's the ideal situation, and I imagine this is because you know, it just adds more accountability to the whole process. Because imagine if let's say lapis lazuli. If lapis lazuli comes from Afghanistan and then it's polished in China, that's already a long journey that lapis has taken to get all the way to China. And then you buy from a supplier in China. It's difficult to know exactly what's happened all through that journey before the lapis then gets to you. Whereas if the polishing factory and the miner in the same country, these guys probably have like a good working relationship and are able to hold each other accountable, and there's more of a sense of ownership when it comes to the stones, and more of a sense of responsibility and transparency during that process. Ethical mine and an ethical polishing factory. These are some of the other considerations that Julie thinks about when deciding whether to work with a business, and that is it a small business? So when it's a small, basically most of the crystals that we have, I believe, are a byproduct of huge mining operations, which are when mines are looking for maybe tin or other precious metals, and so, you know, they stumble upon some, I don't know, quartz, and they're like, this can go to the healing crystal industry kind of thing. So with huge mining operations though, it's difficult to hold them accountable, and they're less likely to consider the collateral damage that happens during this process of extracting the stones. Whereas if it's a small companies are willing to be more responsible for their stock that they buy and own, and it's easier to get through to the owner and have conversations with the owner where he can discuss directly his business practices, his or her business practices, and just be held accountable in general. I think that the whole thing is about accountability, and the more accountability we have, the better and more transparent and safer the industry is in general. Is it female owned? So basically, according to what I hear, according to what I see, according to what I read, female owners are more likely to discuss ethical issues within the industry. maybe due to their innate sense of nurturing, females are more likely to want to consider the safety and the eco-friendliness of their business, whereas men are more likely to just be a little bit more dismissive. No tea, no shade. If you're a man watching this and you're thinking, no, that's a lie you tell, then I'm sorry, okay? Like, I'm not, it's what I heard, okay? So yeah, if a business is female owned, it's more likely to, you know, consider these issues that the male might be likely to be like, collateral damage. And the last but not the least is the overall business philosophy of the company. So is the lapidary or the mine, is it giving back to, wait, what's this? Oh my God. I don't know what this is. Oh man. How long has that been there for? Was I? Oh, no. Right, so lapidaries that give back to the local community. So are they giving back to charitable causes? Are they helping to build up the local environment? And also, are they considering their carbon footprint? Are they being, you know, energy efficient? Are they using natural sources as much as they can? So yeah, these are the things that Julie takes into consideration. I think it's quite a wide, varied list. Like I mentioned earlier, I've been lucky enough to have Julie pick me some stones to use here at Earth Strong Accessories from her collection at Moonrise Crystals. Please visit my website if you'd like to buy a chariot with an ethical stone inside. I have ruby, sapphire, iolite, kyanite, celestite, carnelian. I did have a labradorite, but that's sold now. And they're absolutely gorgeous. Please visit Julie's website at Moonrise Crystals. She's got loads and loads of crystals. Yeah, they're absolutely gorgeous. So have a look at her website because, you know, she's truly amazing. Also, if you would like a chariot by itself, and then you want to contact Julie to pick an ethical crystal for you, then that's also possible if you just send her an email or if you direct message her on Instagram. I'm sure she'd be more than happy to help. Or if you just want a crystal by itself, like I mentioned already, visit her website. Because it's worth, you know, just getting a lovely stone from Julie. Yeah, so that's it really. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's been enlightening. I just want to disclaim again, you know, I'm not knocking our regular crystals that we use that we can't trace all the way back to source. I'm just putting it out there that ethical crystals, you know, they're out there for us. And the more we support ethical crystal industry, the more the industry grows. So yeah, that would be amazing. So thank you so much for watching this video. My next video is going to be about a cool crystal book that I picked up recently. So I'm gonna talk you through the book and what's available for you in there, because I think that you should get it, especially if you've just started your crystal journey. It's a useful resource to have. Okay, so thank you for watching this video again. Love you so much and see you soon. Bye.